Okay, I'd like to bring this meeting to order for the Town of Brunswick Planning Board for February 6th, 2025. If everybody please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So this evening's agenda is as follows. This was posted on the town website and the town board. Number one, Marie's Views LLC, site plan, minor subdivision, and special use permit. Applicant seeks minor subdivision approval, site plan approval, and a special use permit to construct a retail store with gas sales on the western portion of the site, a drive-through restaurant and second retail store on the eastern portion of the site at 727, 737 Hoosick Road and 4 Mohawk Avenue. Marie's Muse LLC is the applicant. Number two, Paramount Building Group, major subdivision. Applicant proposes a major subdivision on approximately 33-acre parcel, as well as construction of a new road with cul-de-sac and water line extension on property located at the northeast corner of Spring Avenue Extension and Crick Road. Paramount Building Group of New York is the applicant. We also have new business. It's a, hold on a second. This is a waiver subdivision. No, it's a site plan review for Smith Hill Kennels and Boarding. And under no old business, we have the Brunswick Acres major subdivision. So with that in mind, our first order of business is to review the minutes of our last meeting of January 16th. Does anybody have any corrections, additions, or comments to be made about the minutes? Okay, hearing none, I will make a motion to accept the minutes as they have been submitted. We have a second. Is there any further discussion on the minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, first on our agenda, Marie's Views LLC, site plan, minor subdivision, and special use permit. Good evening.
Good evening. Hope everybody's surviving the winter that decided to show up. Tim Freitag with Woolworth Engineering, here on behalf of the applicants. Alongside me is Colton Hill, representing the applicant. Since we were here in January, we amended our ZBA application and formally introduced that to the ZBA. They are accepting of the application and on standby for an invite from this board to host a joint public hearing. We floated the March 6th meeting date to them. That seemed generally acceptable, pending this board's determination on secret instead of that public hearing. Since you all saw the project last month, there's been no changes. At that meeting, Wayne presented his preliminary findings of part 2 of the secret form. Hopefully the board has had enough time to review that, and we're here tonight really to focus on secret. I'm available to answer any further questions or clarification the board may have, and we're requesting a potential determination of secret tonight to allow us to proceed with that public hearing and the next steps through our site plan special use permit process.
Okay, with that being said, you were given a copy of the part 2 and a letter, review letter from Wayne on the different pages of the part 2. I think at this time I'd like Wayne to maybe just review quickly part 2 and his comments on it. And we can possibly move forward
Yep, at the last meeting, I had issued a draft of part 2 to give you some time to review it. I did get some feedback on it. Item number 4 on page 3, I changed to yes, I checked yes instead of no. Going through the DEC workbook, they are going to be installing an underground bulk storage of fuel in excess of 1,100 gallons, so that triggers the yes box on the impact of groundwater, that's item number 4. The site layout of the fuel dispensing pumps and the spill containment requirements for permitting are such that in the event of a spill, the risk to groundwater and aquifer has been determined to be small. I went down through the rest of the check marks, and they're all no to small impact. And that was the only change to the part 2 from last meeting.
Okay, is there any questions on going through the impact on land?
No change.
Okay, and I'm just gonna go through them real quick if there's any questions by the board.
Yep.
You did the impacts on the water surface. Number 4, impacts on groundwater, yes. That was answered just now. Impact on flooding, no. Impact on air, no. Impact on plants and animals, no. Number 8, impact on agricultural resources, no. Impact on aesthetic resources, no. Impact on historical and archaeological resources, yeah. That's number 10, no. Number 11, impact on open space and recreation, no. Impact on critical environmental areas, no. And then on number, hang on a second, I think I skipped the page. Okay. 13, impact on transportation, yes, and we discussed that with the various traffic studies and so forth and so on. Number 14, impact on energy, yes. And that was discussed at our last meeting, I believe. And then impact on noise, odor, and light, yes. Any comments that you made on that?
We had a discussion on the lighting, just to be sure that, all the lights can be down facing,
Right.
and no sky glow, that the light won't be emitted beyond the property line. All that stuff.
And then finally, number 16, impact on human health, no. 17, consistency with community plans. That's a no, we're not consistent.
Yeah, I think
No. Consistency with community character, no. Okay. Is there any questions on the part 2, identification of potential project impacts? And you submitted a letter, a review, and your recommendation for this would be a negative.
That is an unlisted action, and that would be a negative declaration.
Okay.
Could we just restate number 17, consistency with community plan? The proposed action is not consistent with adopted land use plan.
Yes, there's no.
Because it is,
Right.
right, yeah, okay.
It's a very confusing category.
Right, I just
Double
want
negative.
It's, yeah, it's a double negative.
clarity for the meeting minutes, I guess.
Okay. Okay, that brings us to now, just a consensus on, at the board level at this point. It has been recommended that there be a negative declaration, in, addressing that, Andy had a resolution adopting the negative. We have reviewed it, and he is ready to propose a resolution. If there's not any further questions or any questions on the proposed adopting a negative declaration, I'll have Andy go through the resolution before we vote on it. Does the applicant have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. No further questions there, no further questions from the board? Andy, you have the floor.
Sure. So this is a resolution that's in front of you for consideration. It does review the procedural history of the application with emphasis on the seeker review. Identifies that the full environmental assessment form has been reviewed and considered, as well as the application documents, the extensive traffic impact studies, and the related technical reports, all is reviewed by Wayne. And determines that based on your review of the part 2, with the assistance of the planning board review engineer and proposed negative declaration in part 3, this, if approved, the resolution would formally adopt the negative declaration under seeker, determining that there is not the potential for a significant adverse environmental impact from this action. If approved, it would then get filed and your review would continue under the site plan, special use permit, and subdivision applications.
Okay. Is everybody able to review the resolution?
For the record, I'll just go through the content of the resolution, the beware the resolved clause. Town of Brunswick Planning Board, serving as seeker lead agency regarding this action, hereby adopts a seeker negative declaration for this action based on the determinations made in part 2 and 3 of the full environmental assessment form attached here to and incorporated herein.
I will make the motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
Second.
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any further discussion on that? Okay, would you, Andy, make the
Sure.
roll call vote?
Chairman Oster,
Yay.
Member Henderson,
Yay.
Member Krieger,
Yay.
Member Peterson,
Yay.
Member Tarbox,
Yay.
Member Stanford,
Yay.
and Member Charney.
Yeah.
So the resolution is thereupon declared duly adopted. And we'll have that filed appropriately.
Okay, and I have to sign the part 3.
Correct.
So now we've had seeker determination, we can proceed ahead. There was some preliminary discussion with the planning board, or the zoning board, obviously, that we're shooting to have the public hearing on March 6th, which is meeting after next. I think there has been some preliminary, to do a joint public hearing. There's been-
Yeah, I can confirm the zoning board, as Tim presented to the board, at their January meeting, did discuss the option of a joint public hearing with the planning board, was in favor of that, and is amenable to holding a special meeting to coincide with your regular March 6th planning board meeting.
All right. Anybody have any questions on that? Are you all set?
I believe so. Do you need anything else from us for that public hearing notice or
I would assume we have all the necessary material on file for the public.
There's a shout, you do. But appreciate your time and we'll see you in March. Thank you very much.
So just to confirm, the March meeting is March 6th,
Yes.
and we're holding a public hearing jointly with the zoning board at 7 PM.
7 PM, yes. Thank you. All right. And next on our agenda is the Paramount Group Major Subdivision. You were listed as tentative, so I'm not sure if you have new material to give us or what.
Just a brief update on the project, if I might grab the
Sure, go ahead.
stand here real quick, thank you.
Okay. Okay, Matt, you have the floor.
All right, thank you, sir. Good evening. You're Matt Bond, Department Engineering here on behalf of Paramount Building Group again. Just wanted to give a project update on Bolton Ridge subdivision. So got some homework we're cleaning up since the last meeting. We're just about done with finishing touches on the SWIP. Should be getting that over to Lane's office in the next couple of days. We are going to include that EAF, like we said last time, updated with the requirement for the establishment of a drainage district by the town board. So I'll have that noted. We have reached out to the contact of DEC for the construction exemption that we discussed. So not made contact, but we made contact by tomorrow. And we did make contact with Chief Murray, new fire chief, and he has received the plans, reviewed the plans, did not have any significant comments on them. He's going to be reviewing them Monday, again, one more time with his commissioners, and so he get back to us with any final comments or concerns about it.
Okay?
Which firehouse is he?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
We didn't know before.
Right. Especially in the position, I think, in the year or something.
Okay.
All right. Pretty much it at this time, and if you have any questions from the board.
Wayne, do you have any questions
So I'm
or?
just waiting on the SWIP, and when Matt gets it to us, we'll review it.
Okay.
I have one question. The back property line, is that the tree line?
No, it is not the tree line.
It goes into the,
It does go into the trees. Yep.
good.
Any other questions? As far as progression along with possible secret determination and a public hearing and so forth and so on, once all that is submitted and everything like that,
Yeah, I usually like to see a complete record, before we make any determination.
it's okay. All right.
Great.
I think we're all set.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Well, thank you for the update and coming out in the bad weather.
Of course. Everyone drive safe.
Okay. Now, are we gonna have you on the agenda for the next meeting? Is all that information gonna be?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It'll be under review, I won't guarantee you it'll be completed in 2 weeks, but.
Okay, our next meeting is on February 20th, so I'll put you on the agenda.
Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll do my best.
Okay.
Nothing but good news, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you again. Have a
All right.
Good evening.
Great. Okay, that concludes our regular agenda. We now have one item under new business. And this is the Smithville Kennels and Boarding LLC. Edward King is that you?
Yes.
All right, why don't you come up here and tell us what you want to do here?
Chairman, I have to lose myself.
Okay. All right.
Hello, my name is Edward King, and I own a 24.71 acre parcel in Brunswick off of Smith Hill Road. The parcel borders Tarbox Farms, so the ag farm is attached. It's actually, border lines are connected. What I'm proposing is a dog boarding and kennel in the, what was originally built in 1995, Part A, and 2000 in Part B, as a storage facility for books, for Ed Conroy books. Ed Conroy has passed away, and I inherited the property, and did some research and came up with the need to have a kennel and a boarding facility in Rensselaer County, mainly in Brunswick. Thank you to Wendy and Mike for getting me to this point to where I could present this in front of you. So what I'm gonna have is 19 boarding hotels, 14 kennels for local municipalities. That's Brunswick, Berlin, Petersburg, and the Grafton area. That's gonna be access on the lower portion. If you see here with the 7 kennels on one side and 6 kennels on the other, with 2 whelping boxes. It's right here. This portion is gonna be a kennel for the local municipalities if I come to terms and we create a contract to do, perform this task in conjunction with the local staff.
So the kennel for the municipalities, that's for our dog warden to pick up dogs and take them there. I don't know.
I did meet with Vicky Burke and showed her the building, showed her what my intent was, and she loved the facility. I have not spoke to anyone about contracting with Brunswick yet until I received approval here. But I was,
Was that your intent?
yes, the lower portion is for boarding. It has a separate access than the top 2 boarding facilities. So none of the dogs would ever, the strays would never come in contact with someone who's paying to have their dog boarded or in the daycare portion.
You have an agreement with the veterinarian in case the dog becomes sick.
Again, I am going to pursue that with Brunswick. Once I receive permission, I've brought it up and spoke with a couple of doctors at Brunswick Vet on Route 7, again, approximately 1 mile away from this facility. And once I receive permission, then I would engage in talks to have that service provided, knowing that that's part of the agri markets. I also invited Christina Cookingham from Rensselaer County Agri Markets to tour the facility. She gave me a copy of the current rules and guidelines, and also the proposed guidelines that will be implemented in December of 2025. So this is, was welcomed by me, because if this is approved, I would have all of the 2025 guidelines met before I take in my first customer or, the kennel.
Will you provide a copy of those guidelines to the board?
I will, absolutely.
Now, just a couple general questions. Right now, is there something with the municipalities regarding, this dog catcher type thing where they're having trouble housing or putting strays and so forth and so on?
Yes,
Wasn't there something I read recently about the Brunswick, or not Brunswick, Mohawk Humane Society doesn't take these anymore and stuff like that? Is that correct?
correct. And also Agway was performing this function, but they have stopped as well. So Currently, it is farmed out to another entity that is not local to Brunswick or Petersburg, Berlin, that area.
Okay. All right.
So this would be a central location. Vicky would have access to that. Previously, Vicky would have to contact somebody at either facility, and they would have to meet them there. I spoke with Vicky about this. She would have access to the facility to house the dogs. Let's say she gets a dog that was hit by a car at 2 a.m. Currently, she has to keep it at her house until she can reach somebody to harbor that dog. I would have an agreement with her, if the dog did not need medical attention, that she could put it in there as long as she filled out the appropriate law.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, how long are you gonna be able to keep dogs? Let's say something happened to the owner, now all of a sudden you got a dog, sound like,
My current plan is to have 2 full-time employees. I retired from Regeneron in September. I'm a full-time employee of Smith Hill Border and Kennels. So there would be 24-hour a day and no time limit. I know the current procedure for strays is 5 days unless they know the owner, and then it could be up to 10 days. I would work with all the towns and municipalities to provide this service as long as I have an occupancy and there was a contract in place.
Would you do anything with Troy also?
No.
I hear that Troy's having a lot of, they're housing them in the police station and everywhere,
No,
everywhere and anywhere they can.
correct. I would not, I've done some research, and due to the safety of the full-time employees and the other dogs that would be at the facility, the feedback that I received is not really conducive to running the type of establishment that I want to run. There's, pit bulls that, nothing against pit bulls at all, but pit bulls that were used as bait dogs in fighting rings and that sort of thing. I don't want to horse that.
Are you required to have so many employees for so many, spaces, kennels? I mean, if you,
No,
okay, so what you have here proposed is, can be handled by 2 employees.
2 employees and 2 full-time employees and myself,
Okay.
correct.
There isn't any guidelines or anything for that type of,
I have not seen it. The only guidelines that I've ran into was with agri markets for the kennels.
okay.
As far as I've researched and haven't found anything that is like a daycare for children. You have to have so many per child.
Yeah.
I have not seen that in the canine industry, but I will research that further with Christina.
Can you explain the second floor doggy daycare outdoor? I'm
Yes,
looking at the photograph, it looks like that's above grade, but maybe I have it turned down.
it is. So what I am proposing in here is, you'll see the doggy daycare area. And then in the future, 7 indoor, outdoor kennels, boarding areas for, if business indicates that the 12 on the main floor, which is grade, if we reach that potential, then we would develop the second floor out to have the same type facility on that side.
Is that,
So that's above ground, right?
So that's the foundation. It's
Yeah.
approximately at the, this end here,
Yeah.
it's approximately 3 feet from the base of the foundation to the ground. It's pitched down.
Oh,
is it
okay.
recorded with this photograph?
Nope, that's not the other side of that building. So it'd be that side. It'd be this side right here.
Okay.
So there.
And,
Isn't that the door they're coming in?
you know, the door that they would be coming in, if you would be right here. That'd be that for the kennel.
For the
Yeah,
downstairs?
For the downstairs. This is, I apologize.
Nope,
This is the door they would be coming in for the doggy daycare.
okay.
There's a door here, which is illustrated on the drawing that I gave.
Thank you.
Yes, it
Some sort of septic plan.
Most, all of the dog waste would be shipped out. There would be, yeah, I would hire a waste removal, and that waste would be shipped out.
So you're gonna put it in a tank, and then somebody's not gonna pump it out.
Yeah, so I am gonna, most of the dry will be, will be in garbage disposal, and then the wet would down the septic, or, the septic system that's on the property.
There's already an existing septic system.
Yes, there is. There's a house that's in there attached as well. That's gonna be the main business, where the business office is gonna be run out of, where I'm gonna do an introductory between the dog and the owner that want to board there, and myself, so I can get a feel of how the dog's mannerisms are. And then that would also be where we would have a clean out, if you will, to get rid of liquid waste from vacuuming the liquid waste and that sort of thing from inside.
I'm a little confused. Why would you don't share a septic system?
There's no bedrooms. It'd be like a commercial septic system, huh?
You'd have to figure out what the volume and the flow would be. That's all
I mean,
information.
is there any Rensselaer County Health Department approval that has to go through this? Okay. All right. And I assume it's well water, I think.
Yes, it is.
Is there water in that building now?
No,
But you'd have to run water to it.
yes.
And that ag market regulations, does that handle like air vents and fans and fire extinguishers and all that?
All of, yes. Yes, it does.
All right.
I'm going to ask you to take another look at your seeker form, go through the questions. I think a couple there.
Okay.
So again, at item number 1 and number 2 on page 1 of the short form.
I actually think I do not have a copy of that. I turned them over. Thank you.
Actually, item number 1 should be no. You're not doing any legislative adoption of the plan and local law ordinance, administrative rule or regulation. So that would be no.
Okay.
And that, because it would not trigger something else. Number 2, you will require a permit or approval from a government agency in the state ag markets, operate a kennel, correct?
Yes,
So that would be yes, not no.
okay.
This is just a cursory glance. I took at this, I'll take a further look through it. More comments probably when it becomes part of the agenda.
Yeah, I mean, the board just got this information tonight. Usually we do is at least have one meeting in between our regular agenda, so we have a chance to review this. So at our next meeting, which is on February 20th, you'll be on the formal agenda. to give us time to go through all this material, have any questions. I mean, you have two, corrections you have to make, you know, on the PAF, so, Wayne, are you gonna maybe take another look at that? If you have any other questions, get a hold of the applicant?
Well, he hasn't even been on the agenda yet. This is new business, so.
Yeah, okay. Well, I didn't,
No, I have comments, I think.
okay.
Would you like me to supply you with the agri markets regulations prior to that or on February 20th?
I think, we probably need it before that.
Okay,
Then I think it gets distributed from the planning, you know, the building department's office. And we'll have that in the pack, ready to go, and hopefully be able to review that before our next meeting. If we have any questions. So we'll put you on the agenda for our next meeting, then you're formally in the system, let's put it that way. And we can go from there. If you have any additional information that you need to give us, get it over to us as soon as possible, we'll go into distribution time. Okay?
yes.
All right then, we will see you on the 6th.
Thank you, see you then.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that could, we no more new business, correct?
That's it for new business, that is
Okay.
correct.
Then we will go to old business, which is Brunswick Acres. We have some. There's been a request submitted to extend the subdivision approval, Brunswick Acres subdivision. And I'm going to turn the floor over to you, Mr. Chris.
Sure, good evening, nice to see you again, Andy Brick from Brick Law Firm. On behalf of Brunswick Acres applicant, with me is Anthony and Chelsea Sal, principal of the project. We had received a reapproval from you back in August. However, there is a state statute that says if you don't comply with the conditional approval get signed by the chairman within 6 months, it will expire. We had, if you recall, numerous conditions, not just from you, but also from the original PDD. I think there was 29 significant conditions that we had to work through. We are working through them. We haven't complied with them yet, so our 6 months actually runs out on the 11th. So we're here this evening to ask you to exercise your authority to grant a 90-day extension of the original approval, which is an ability that you have under the same statute that sets the 180-day to 6-month expiration. One of the things that we were struggling with is about end of September, early October, Anthony started reaching out to the town about we have to, as you may recall, set up a public water district extension as well as a drainage district extension. And when he reached out to Bill Bradley to start that process, which is through the town board, there was a little bit of a delay in determining which attorney is going to handle that for us. But that has since been worked out, so we anticipate within the next 90 days, our applications for both the water district extension and the drainage district extension can be submitted and reviewed by, I believe, the Mr. Bloomfield.
Okay? All right. I did review this letter with Andy, and there is, you know, everything is in order as far as requesting the 90 days. It's absolutely correct. And you do have that the current extension would expire on the 11th.
Correct.
Of February 2025. So we have to additionally do this extension at this point. So.
Yes, and we're incredibly grateful to you, Mr. Chairman, as well as to Wendy for getting us on this agenda. We appreciate it.
Okay. We went through this. Andy, do you have anything to add on this extension as far as any of the details of why and so forth and so on.
No, Mr. Brick is correct. It's a matter of state statute. When you have a conditional final subdivision approval, the state law requires the conditions to be satisfied within 180 days. If not, the applicant can request 90-day extension periods, and that's completely within your discretion based upon the particular circumstances. So again, that's within your discretion.
I think because of the circumstances involving the water district approval and all that, which it turns out, I'm not pointing any fingers, it seems more of a town issue at this point. It's not really a pure, fault at this point.
The good news is that we've been given some clear direction now, so we can.
Okay. So I don't have any problems, granting the 90-day extension, so I'm gonna, canvass the board here. Is there any questions or any issues with this as far as granting this extension?
How many 90-day extensions can they have? Or?
So current law is there's no limit on the number of 90-day extensions. It was different previously. It used to be 2 90-day extensions. The legislature changed that, so there's no limit on it.
Yeah, but I mean, it has to be that there has to be some substantial.
There should be some strike that. Again, this is when your discretion as an applicant, it would be a better presentation if some indication that they are in fact undertaking efforts to complete the conditions, which you've heard tonight.
Yeah.
But the number of extensions is not limited. They can come back to you again and ask for additional time.
And the final result of this would be that we would be able to stamp and sign the subdivision plans within the 90 days. So we can move forward.
Assuming we were able to comply with all the conditions within the 90 days, they would be, then they would be signed.
Correct, okay. So I will make a motion to grant the extension of the subdivision for the Brunswick Acres. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
There's a second. Is there any further discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You're all set?
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. I don't think there's any other old business. Is there any general discussion or anything that anybody has any under? Okay, then, hearing none, I'm just gonna review the agenda at this point. We have the Smithfield Kennel. We have Paramount Building. I haven't heard anything from CVE.
No, I have not
Correct,
heard
so
anything.
they're not in the mix at this point. And we have the joint public hearing on the 6th of March. So for our next meeting, we just have 2 items. That would be the Paramount Building Group and the Smithfield Kennel. Am I missing anything? Okay, then. With that being established, I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Okay.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Have a good evening.